Born against long odds in 1976, the Long Beach Grand Prix is North America's premier street race. The debut event featured Formula 5000 cars in a race won by Brian Redman. The following year, Clay Regazzoni captured the inaugural U.S. Grand Prix West, and in 1977, Mario Andretti passed Jody Scheckter in the closing laps to become the first American to win an F1 race on home turf. Andretti's popular victory put the race on firm financial footing and set in motion the rebirth of Long Beach, which morphed from a down-on-its-heels port city to a thriving modern city tourist destination. The resulting building boom necessitated ongoing changes to the track layout, finally setting on the current 1.9-mile, 11-turn circuit encircling the Long Beach Convention Center and the Long Beach Aquarium. The Long Beach Grand Prix changed gears in 1984, bringing the homegrown Indy cars to town as the featured attraction. The event hardly missed a beat as the names of Unser, Zanardi, Montoya, Franchitti, and Power soon joined the likes of Regazzoni, Andretti, Villeneuve, Piquet, and Lauda on the illustrious list of Long Beach winners. What's more, the event grew to include, at various times, the American Le Mans Series, Grand Am Sports Car Series, and the Pirelli World Challenge. Open wheel to sports cars, world-class driver, or movie stars. The Long Beach Grand Prix circuit is as testing as they come, with very hard walls eagerly awaiting the slightest mistake. Tonight, it's the 10th round of the PFR Sports Car Series, and it's next on HPR TV. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Long Beach, California, the LBC, as they would call it. Round 10 of the PFR Sports Car Series, a 60-minute sprint here tonight. Let's look at the race details. 66 degrees Fahrenheit, nice and dry, 20% humidity, little bit of cloud cover, almost no breeze. Pretty nice afternoon here at Long Beach. Let's get to it. Qualifying already underway, so let's see where everyone's starting to stack up. Terry Crouch, to no one's surprise, fastest thus far. Quickest in GT, once again, it's going to be Mike Hamlin. He's had some bad luck the last couple of weeks. Flo Doms takes the top spot on the board here. Minute 12.344 to Terry's 12.73. And just like that, Terry bests it again. A minute 11.828. Hamlin in the Audi tonight. New colors on that machine. In his fastest time, minute 18.615, the delta between GT and LMP2 not as wide as it has been in other circuits. And I believe these cars are going to start together this time. No staggered start, and the start procedure is slightly different than they have been. Not necessarily going to go on the green flag here. We're going to be communicating with all drivers. Once they clear the hairpin, they will give the word to race control that, yep, I'm clear, and then the green will fire. These guys can get moving into turn number one. Hopefully, fingers crossed, everything's happy, and we don't wad them up like we did a season ago. If it does happen, though, we'll get the caution flag. We don't see that very often, and we'll try it again, but this time it would be a single-file restart. Hamlin finishes up his lap. Dave Seats is fastest now, minute 18.615. Seats in the Audi as well this week. Brian Zinn, we're watching him right now. His fast time, a minute 18.881. Real tight times here in the top three. Even Josh Heggie, a minute 19.1. Daniel Clark, a minute 19.4. Doms might have got a piece of the wall there on that lap. I think he's got one more lap to try and best that time from Terry Crouch. Connection issue there. Sometimes that can hurt the stopwatch, if you will. Got Brandon Bostian in the stream chat. Graphics are awesome. Thanks for letting us know, Brandon. We did a nice, hour and a 30-minute plus test early on. Some new updates with NVIDIA, OBS, and YouTube, allowing us to encode this a little bit fancier now and run almost 4K. I'd be willing to try 4K, but we're going to need to upgrade the internet just a bit. So stay tuned for that. We're changing locations here this week. So next week's broadcast, we're going to try it. We're going to have much better internet. It's not that it's bad here now, but we're going to be much faster going with fiber next week. May actually be able to push this to 4K streaming. We'll see how it looks, but stay tuned for that. Flo Doms wraps up. Minute 12:149 is what he's going to sit on. Rob Henry just finishing up his lap here in the Sinclair Audi R8. Kind of looks like the gas station on Main Street, Watkins Glen. Sean Roberts giving it a go. U.S. Postal Service, that's one quick mail truck. And I guess being that it's a U.S. Postal Service livery, I think that makes it street legal regardless. No license plates needed on that one. John Roberts, fourth quick. His lap time minute 13.358. And I don't know if he got a piece of the tire pack there, but he got through it. Doesn't show an off track, so I'm going to say probably got away with that one, utilizing all the racetrack possible. Oh, there, that time he got the tire pack and the concrete barrier. These LMP2 machines, so delicate, you really got to keep from hitting things on them because you're going to get what they call a meatball flag almost right away when you make contact with a barrier or even another car. It's very rare that you can get away with it. And I'm going to reload the textures here just to be 100% certain that this is the correct paint for Sean Roberts. Roberts crosses the stripe. Still a minute 13.358. Again, that lap likely negated due to the contact with the barrier. In through the fountain section. Most beautiful part of this racetrack, in my opinion. It's really a neat circuit. Not a huge fan of street circuits, but I do really like this one. Not that my opinion matters in the least, but if NASCAR was going to run a street circuit, I'd say you do it here instead of Chicago, but that's just my 2 cents. Rumor on the street, though. Oh, and he gets the wall again. Sean Roberts trying to push the limits of that race car. He's fourth quick on the first lap. I know he's trying to get that into the top 3. Still 5 minutes left in the session. Looks like just about everybody has taken their laps. Joe Tucker has yet to take one. He may just opt to start out back. James Coulibaly on his final lap. Working down, exiting turn 5, the short chute into the hard left turn 6. No room for error at this place, that's for sure. Into the hairpin for the final time. Got to trail brake like crazy to get through that one. Taking a look at the overall car count for tonight, looks like we do have 6 LMP2 machines in the field. And I think it's 11 GT cars. It's not a huge field by any means, but kind of a blessing in disguise. Of course, you'd love to have big car counts, but on a place like Long Beach, it makes you nervous when you got 40 cars or 50 cars or whatever you can out here, because the one guy in the 5th or 6th or 7th position makes a mistake on that first lap, and it can very easily wad up your entire field. So James Coulibaly back on the main straightaway here, or stretch, I guess you could call it, with that big curve after the start-finish line. Minute 15.434. So minute 15.50 was his last lap, so consistent, but not faster than his best. Again, maybe a little glitch here with the overlays. The appearing photograph at the bottom of the screen of the paint scheme not represented on the actual car. So we're not sure if he's trying to run the McLaren paint scheme or looks like the Alfa Romeo one there at the bottom. Terry Crouch says, consistent is all that matters here. And the stream looks great. Well, Terry, thanks for the confirmation of that. Always good. Get nervous when you try new things and they don't work out. That's why we did the test early on, just to be sure that we could definitely go an hour. We did an hour and 40, so we should be just fine. Coulibaly finishes up last lap. Not any better. With that, though, we're going to jump out and get a quick break. Seems that everyone's taking a time here. Stay with us. We'll be right back after this.
I met Marcos Garza when we were doing radiothons for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. We needed sponsors to help us raise money, and he's always the first one to jump in. I would describe Marcos and his team as upstanding, someone you can trust, and he is just a genuine guy.
Marcos has been very generous. He has a genuine concern for people. You need somebody that cares about you. And that's what Marcos is, and that's pretty much what this firm is.
The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Back at Long Beach, California, let's take a look at our starting grid. On the pole position with a lap time, a blistering lap, 1 minute 11.730. It's Terry Crouch. Outside front row, Flo Doms. Missed it by about 4/10, but it looks like Terry's going to go to the back here, so Flo's going to inherit the top spot. Kevin Blue qualified in the 3rd position. Sean Roberts qualifies 4th. 5th goes to Brandon Domain. And 6th, last car in LMP2, James Coulibaly. On the pole position in GT, it's the Audi TLDR SimSport driver of David Seats. Starting in the outside front row in GT, Mike Hamlin. Ninth starter is going to be Brian Zinn. Josh Heggie will be 10th. 11th starter, Daniel Clark, then Rob Henry in 12th. 13th goes to Nick Matthews. Drew Prale will roll from the 14th starting position. Mike Piazza starts 15th. No, not the baseball player, it's the racer. Nick Batista starts 16th, and Joe Tucker with Hostile Intent Gaming will roll 17th and shotgun on the field. It's your starting grid here for round number 10 of the PFR Sports Car Series, Sports Car Championship, that is. Field is gridded up. Be a short pace lap. Again, they're going to go green after everyone has cleared the hairpin. This is to avoid any major incidents. Fingers crossed so we get through this one without any major issues. So as we said, Flo Doms is going to inherit the top spot here. Kevin Blue up into second. Sean Roberts now into P3. 20 of Brandon Domain is fourth. Kolobali fifth. Again, Terry Crouch having to go to the rear for his penalty at the rear of the LMP2 field. May actually get the green prior to everyone being cleared. There is the green officially. LMP2, they just fire off and go. GT3 still waiting, still waiting, still waiting. Now they're going to go. Let's watch the run into turn number 1 here for the LMP2 machines. And GT3 gets the green flag as well. Dave Seats clear through the fountain section. Back in LMP2, we'll watch Terry Crouch again had to go to the rear for the win penalty here this week, but in this case, with only 6 LMPs, we may actually get to watch Terry Crouch and Flo Doms battle it out. We will see if that comes to fruition. Oh, a little slip by the 20. We got trouble up in front. Looks like Kevin Blue might have gotten into the fence. Big time damage on the number 54 on lap 1. This is lap 2, actually, just getting through the fountain section right now. We'll have to try and get a look at that and see truly what happened there. I got to imagine Kevin's going to have to go to pit lane to get some major repairs made. That thing's looking like a souped-up modified. Flo Doms out to a 5+ second advantage. Terry Crouch up into P3 already, though. Crouch to the outside. A little bit of a wiggle. Little oversteer. Gets single file before the hairpin. Doesn't look like it. Just misses the tire pack and the battle continues. Kevin Blue going to come to the attention to his pit stall here. Again, this incident happening on lap 2, certainly way too early for it to be a benefit as far as fuel is concerned. He's going to have to burn that fast repair. Let's get a look at it and see what happened here with Kevin. This one, well, it's going back to a different incident. Let's see if we can find the right one here. This is the crash. Kevin Blue just a moment ago at lap number 2. Oh, it wasn't even him. It was Sean Roberts who got crossed up. Watch it full speed and see what happened. We saw him have trouble in qualifying. Let's see if he just clips the tires again. Oh, too much rear brake on entry. We've seen this happen in real life so many times and just nowhere to go for the 54. Kevin's back in it. But there you have it. Clear sails out in front for Flo Doms is allowing him to stretch out that advantage to now a full 8 seconds, 4 laps in. But Terry Crouch, he's cut his way through the field as well. He's into the second position. He's still a ways back, but at least we'll get to watch this one and see if Terry can reel in Flo Doms, and we'll see the TLDR SimSport teammates maybe, just maybe, fingers crossed, have an opportunity to fight it out. Checking back in GT, Dave Seats continues to lead in the in the Audi. He's been in the Mercedes a lot this season, switching it up here for Long Beach. Josh Heggie running in the Ferrari. He runs in P2. Daniel Clark sticking to his BMW in third. Mike Hamlin's still on the racetrack here, but he ends up in the back. Terry Crouch just going by the GT traffic here, just getting into the tail end of the field in GT. Brandon Domain slow. It wasn't even, no, it was James Coulibaly that appeared slow. That just might have been the exit of the hairpin. Doesn't appear to be a major issue there. Looks like Brian Zinn might have had an issue on track. No damage on the machine. Joe Tucker and Drew Prowl running 14 and 15. Flo Dom's losing connection again. Got to keep your fingers crossed that doesn't hamper him here tonight. Terry Crouch is starting to cut into that race lead, but ever so slightly. It's down to about 7 seconds as Terry runs his fastest lap of the day, minute 12:77. Sean Roberts mired back in 8th overall, 6th in class. Remember, he was involved in that lap 2 incident with Kevin Blue. Just locked up the rears down into the left-hander of turn number 1. Got crossed up. Blue with nowhere to go gets into the right side of the machine. big gain for Terry Crouch. We talked just a lap or so ago. It was a 7-second advantage for Doms. Now it's 5.5. Flo's starting to work through some lap traffic, which I'm sure is not helping the situation. Terry's going to have to dispose of those 2 cars as well. See how he gets through. Going to need some luck. When I say luck, it's all really where you catch the car without losing a lot of time. You see Terry does scrape the left side on that barrier just a bit. Halfway decent spot for Terry to catch Drew Prell. Under braking now into the left-hander. It's turn 6. Not a great place to catch Joe Tucker. He's going to get 2 for 1 here, so it'll work out. Might have been some contact there with Joe Tucker. And I think it was Mike Piazza. Yeah, the Porsche. Piazza got the outside wall there and turned around and went a little bit to the right. Might have made some contact with the BMW of Joe Tucker. Looks like both drivers have continued on. Side by side through the fountain. That's a scary place to do it. Oh, and Tucker goes around, avoids contact with the Porsche. Drew Prell locks him up. Leaving a little bit of room there. Tucker's going to try and get rolling here. Got to keep an eye on that relative. Joe gets it righted, continues on. Flo Dom's still out in front, but again, that lead is still shrinking. Terry Crouch now 3.8 seconds back. Flo catches up here to Daniel Klar in the BMW. Nowhere for Flo really to go around until he gets a little bit wider racetrack. He does so now, gets to the inside on exit. Starting to see Terry Crouch in the distance as we watch Flo Doms try to work through this circuit. Again, we're 10 laps in. They've clicked them off in a hurry, only 12 minutes into this 60-minute race. Flo again catching into some lap traffic. These are now the GT leaders that he's working into. Dave Seats just up ahead. You got Josh Heggie in P2. Flo gets around the Ferrari. And Flo loses connection once again for just a moment. Comes back in, gets to the inside. They work down, well, I guess you could call it the backstretch into turn number 9. Another right-hander. Deficit back to Terry Crouch, still 3.5 seconds. His lap time's not coming down as fast as they once were. Again, Terry having to negotiate his way through the lap traffic, the same as Flo. And it's kind of a crapshoot where you catch the slower car. You've got to try and make the pass without losing a lot of time. Perfect world to catch him on the straightaway and get on by in the braking zone, not in the middle of the corner. Through that exchange of lap cars, slower traffic, Flo Doms has stretched it out another second. It's about 4.7 seconds now. Flo still having connection issues. 15 minutes in here, we're going to jump out and get a break. HBR TV side by side. We'll be back after this.
I met Marcos Garza when we were doing radiothons for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. We needed sponsors to help us raise money, and he's always the first one to jump in. I would describe Marcos and his team as upstanding, someone you can trust, and he is just a genuine guy.
Marcos has been very generous. He has a genuine concern for people. You need somebody that cares about you. And that's what Marcos is, and that's pretty much what this firm is.
The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Back at Long Beach, the PFR Sports Car Championship. We continue to watch the battle here. This is for 5th position in GT between Nick Matthews and Brian Zinn. Zinn in the Porsche trying to get around this Audi. Working through turns 9, 10, and then the 11, the hairpin. That'll be the right-hander coming up right here. We saw during the HBR TV side-by-side Sean Roberts having a very similar issue once again on the brakes. Blocking him up, coming around. Now he's in the middle of this fight here. GT, it's going to spread them out just a bit, but he's going to make short work of the Audi. Looks like a little bit of a wiggle there out of the LMP2 machine. Roberts gets clear and the GT battle continues as Zinn is right there once again. This again, the battle for 5th position in GT. And Brian Zinn abandons the fight, comes to pit lane. Again, 17 laps here. We're in our first 20-minute mark, so they're looking like he's working on a two-stop strategy for sure. Gonna put tires on too, very interesting. Curious if he's going to do the same here in that final stop here, and I would assume about 20 more minutes. Quick stop though for Brian Zinn. He's down and away in 22.22 seconds. If you're looking for some pick 4 numbers, I would go with, well, 2. Flo Dom's back out front. Talk about using all the racetrack available to make that entry nice and straight, or straight as possible. He was just an inch or two off the barrier before turning in. We had seen Terry Crouch had closed the gap once again to within 3.5 seconds. It's now up to 5.3. Again, have to assume that's due to some slower GT traffic. Again, there's parts of this racetrack that are very wide and others that are just not. Doesn't yield a whole lot of space to make passes, even if the car in front of you is that much slower. You just kind of have to ride behind that guy until there's an opportunity to make the pass. As it stands right now, though, Terry Crouch, a lot of clear sailing out in front of him. Flo Doms, though, he goes purple, takes the top time, a minute 12:54. Talk about fast times. Remember back to qualifying, who was fast? Terry Crouch was a minute 11:07. Flo Doms was, well, just over 4/10 off of that. So we're not looking at qualifying times just yet. Little wiggle from Terry Crouch. You gotta wonder if tires are starting to fall off, even on these LMPs. And frankly, looking at the right front of Terry's LMP, it looks like there could be some right front damage. Trying to get a better look at it. It's not severe by any means, but that front, I guess you could call it a front diffuser, front splitter, front air dam, whatever you want to go with. It looks like the right front is just up a little bit compared to the driver's side. Driver's side being left on these machines. And Terry picks up another half second there once again. Interestingly enough, though, Kevin Blue has managed to jump into that third spot. Now, keep in mind, he had that early pit stop on lap 3 after the lap 2 crash, had to burn the quick repair. Yes, it's going to give him a little bit of fuel, go a little bit longer, but you look at some of the other drivers, James Coulibaly, Brandon Domain, they've both made a pit stop. Sean Roberts, though, he's in the pits right now. Oh, big time damage on Sean Roberts. We didn't see what happened here. There's 4 different incidents for Sean Roberts. Let's try to find what happened. Well, this one he still has the nose on it, so I'm going to assume it's this. Full speed. And just like earlier, locks up the rear brakes. But this isn't even the biggest incident. Certainly damaged the right rear. Let's stay with it, see if it happens relatively quickly. This is coming into turn 10. Into the hairpin now. Oh, he just drives straight into the tire pack. But he still has the nose on it. Obviously severe. Oh, man. Okay, well, I guess that makes sense. Couldn't steer it. Trying to get it to pit lane, but pounds into the tires again. Man, with that much damage on the first incident, you got to take it easy to avoid the second. And then after the second incident, you really got to take your time because you can't afford to make it worse. You know, he's already burned the first fast repair. So Sean Roberts could be out of this. In fact, it looks like he has retired from the event. There again, you see the deficit. Oh, Flo Doms smacks the tire pack just a bit on exit. That really closes the gap between the two. Terry Crouch now just over 2 seconds back. Man, precision driving for some of these guys. Back into GT, Josh Heggie has taken over the top spot. Likely through the cycle of pit stops, Heggie went in lap 17, had a pit stop of 16.98 seconds, where Dave Seats, who was the race leader, his pit stop 21.92. With that said, just looking at some previous pit stops of drivers that we know took tires, I would say Dave Seats likely on fresher rubber underneath his Audi. So we'll see if he can reel in the gap. It's only 2.6 to Josh Heggie. We'll see if he can reel him in and then put the pressure on. Again, he's just ahead there of Joe Tucker. Tucker not on the lead lap, I don't believe. Be sure to keep an eye on that battle. Oh, Joe Tucker runs a little wide, almost contact with the race. Well, not the leader anymore. It was Dave Seats. Dave running in second spot. Man, Dave just drives it so deep into the corner, keeps it going. I see why they picked this car for Long Beach. It's very well balanced. Now Kevin Blue hits pit lane. It's going to be fuel only for Kevin Blue. We'll see if the strategy pays off. He knows he's got to worry about track position. You almost got to think, though, maybe he would have taken 2 tires here. 18, 19, 20 seconds. Man, he almost could have taken 4. Flo Doms and Terry Crouch, their pit stops are 24:40 and 24:78 respectively, only 3 seconds longer for fresh tires. You see Kevin Blue shaking the car back and forth, trying to clear off as much debris and get some heat back into it. Now, we have seen instances where something funky happens as far as the iRacing glitch where, I took tires, but the car never went up on jacks. I suppose that's possible, but man, if that is the case, that's a fast pit stop for Kevin Blue, 21:20. Again, I think it was just fuel only. And I want to go back and double check to see how many tire sets they're even allotted. It might be unlimited. Yeah, it really is. So the only benefit to not taking the tires was this time savings in the pits. But again, you look at it, it's only a couple of seconds difference from tires versus non. Don't see Kevin Blue making up that difference, especially on older tires. So it's obviously running a higher risk of a mistake on the old wore-out rubber. It is relatively warm here today. It was only 66 degrees, but the track temp 103. That moves James Coulibaly up into this third position. He made his pit stop at lap 14. Terry Crouch is definitely pushing now. Minute 12:41, his best lap now. He goes fastest of the day. See Mike Hamlin in the pits. Mike was up to third spot when he decided to pit. He was at the rear of the field to start this. Hamlin stays on the ground. He's not going to put a new set of Pirellis on his. 15 seconds, 16, 17, 18 seconds. So he saved about 4 seconds going fuel only. We'll see if he takes tires on that final stop. We're just past halfway, 31 minutes in. Again, a 60-minute race distance here tonight. Still with the race lead, but for how long? Terry Crouch in the same frame, less than a second back. Ooh, a little late on the brakes. I don't know if he locked him up there. He missed the entry to the corner, did not hit the apex where you need to. Very rare mistake out of Terry Crouch. You don't see that out of him. See it out of me about every lap. So it was under a second, and Terry lost almost that whole second just with that very small mistake into turn number 1. Oh, and he keeps scraping the wall. I've seen him do this a couple of times. Again, you're trying to maximize your entry to the corner the best you can. Straighten the corner out as much as humanly possible. Carry as much momentum and speed through it. That's what he's doing. But again, it's an inch. You go 1 inch too far and you're going to scrape the side of the race car on the barrier. Man, he gained a lot of ground there through the hairpin, though. And he continues to gain it. Bad exit for Flo Doms. See it again. Sparks fly out the left side, but he gained that. He was down by 9/10, 1.9 seconds actually, just not even a lap ago. Gained a lot of that back. Pretty equal out of turn number 8 as they work down the backstretch here. Hard into the brakes, turn 9. Another right-hander, a quick left into turn 10. And then hard on the brakes again, hard on the wheel. To the right, the hairpin. Terry still faster on exit. Little oversteer for Flo there. Didn't make any contact, but it was close. Lap car Mike Piazza coming into the frame here. Flo's got to make short work of him. Can't afford it. Hits the exit. It's going to sacrifice a little bit of time there trying to get around that Porsche. He does get clear, but it's gained it now to 0.6 of a second. The deficit, Terry Crouch flashing the lights, trying to make a clean entry into this corner. It's going to throw the entryway off, and the Porsche gets into the wall. Ryan Zinn gets into the barriers, trying to get out of the way of the race leaders. Piazza continues on, but without a rear wing and certainly some suspension damage. He's going to have to go to pit lane. Let's get a look at it. Let's see what happened here once again. You see Piazza in the Porsche. Flo gets by cleanly. Terry Crouch flashing the lights. Piazza gets into the marbles and can't make his turn in, and big impact with the left front, and then follows it up, smacking the left rear. Knocks the spoiler off, and again, of course, suspension damage included. More lap traffic. Hamlin in the Audi in between, catching these guys in about the same spot now. Terry Crouch has to take evasive maneuvers out of turn 8. It's going to give Flo Dams a little bit of a breathing room, but really not all that much. Terry's still able to gain ground into the corner. Deficit now 9/10. Terry's close enough to sniff a little bit of a draft here. On board with Flo Dams, looking back at teammate Terry Crouch. This is what we've waited for, folks. We've been waiting all season since Monza to watch this battle shape up and actually come to fruition. We saw it happening in Monza, but remember, they got into each other through the first chicane, because we didn't run the real first chicane at Monza this season. We ran that second one after the bridge. It was a little mistake. Now, I forget who was in front at that point, but nevertheless, they came together, damage to both vehicles. And with this league and the win penalties, the way that they lay them out, you got to go to the back, regardless of where you qualify. Terry Crouch, though, right there, though, started at the rear of the field as far as LMP2 is concerned, not the overall field. He was able to work his way through some traffic, through some adversity, some other drivers, and here he is, challenging for the race lead. 38 minutes in. Plenty of time, and there's still more pit stops to come for these drivers. See Drew Prahl off course there. They get through that one okay. More lap traffic just up ahead. I think it's Joe Tucker. Tucker's notoriously difficult to get around. Both drivers seem to get by without incident. Turn Turn 9, little oversteer for Crouch. Back to the power. And Flo takes pit lane. That's going to give a lap lead to Terry Crouch. So let's take a look here. Pit stops about to commence. Second round, probably the final stops here. It's kind of close depending on when they need to get there for fuel. Flo stays on the ground, so it's going to be fuel only for Flo Doms. Again, Terry Crouch stays out on the racetrack. Very quick stop for Doms, 10.05 seconds for the number 13. This is where the race can be won or lost. Terry Crouch can get in and out of pit lane faster than Flo. He can maintain that top spot. Again, he didn't take tires, Flo Doms, that is. So all he's got to do is get back out there. Tires are already hot. Terry Crouch now with the race lead. First lap's led here today, 40 minutes in. Just under 20 to go. Now, Terry's running into some lap traffic here. Now, Flo may have some clear racetrack out in front of him, so even though he's in second place and he made his pit stop first, he can actually run a little bit quicker, and just through the math alone can gain some ground on Terry. Terry in behind Nick Matthews, finally gets clear. Had to follow him through a few corners. Of course, the Audi, not the same category as the LMP2, but also running around the track with some damage, so he's probably slightly off pace to what Terry might be used to seeing out of a typical GT3 machine. Crouch back to the back straightaway here. Let's see if he takes the opportunity to pit. Got to think the window is open at this point. Flo, I doubt, would make the pit stop here unless he had to. Catching up with Joe Tucker another time. Tucker might have made a pit stop recently. Yes, he did. Terry stays on the racetrack again. So even after the pit stop, Flo Doms still 36 seconds back, but he maintains the second position. Now, interestingly enough, Flo's pit lane time. Okay, this is entry to pit stop to exit. All right, that's 47.05 seconds. He's 36.4 seconds back from Terry Crouch. Just doing some simple math here. If Terry has the exact same scenario getting into and out of pit lane, it's going to give Flo a pretty significant lead when he cycles back through. We'll see how this works, but again, the longer Terry stays out, you got to think that his pit stop is likely to be less time, at least in the box. He'll need to take less fuel. It does seem that Flo came a little bit early, but didn't take tires, which I also find interesting. Oh, he runs into the back. James Coulibaly. Don't know if there was truly contact there or not, but man, it was an inch at most. Doms gets clear. Oh, just scrapes the tire pack. Flo is definitely pushing hard here. He knows he's got to gain as much ground as possible. Going back into GT, Josh Heggie in the Ferrari still with the race lead, but Dave Seats closing the gap. Remember last time we checked on these guys, it was 2.5 seconds. Dave has closed it down to less than 1.4. The battle rages. Heggie maintaining that race lead. Still sticking around about 1.4, almost 1.5. Seats gained some ground there on exit. Terry Crouch still out in front. Stays on the racetrack here, hasn't made his pit stop just yet. Last came down pit road about 16 laps ago. He's got to be getting close. The theory in my head here with Flo Doms pitting when he did, again, it was a very short stop, only 10 seconds of fuel, is did he come to pit lane as soon as he possibly could as far as his pit window was concerned, knowing that he didn't need to take tires? Because in most cases, if you think about it, at the end of the run, of course, you're on light fuel. These cars do take a decent amount of fuel, being endurance racers. Less fuel means less weight. Less weight typically means later braking, faster acceleration, faster lap times. So we'll see how that pans out. As it stands right now, Terry's still turning down some good laps. He's increased his lead from 36 and change to 38 and change in just the last few laps. Again, Flo's pit stop came at lap 31. We're on lap 37 now. Dave Seats is taking the race lead. Not sure what happened to Heggie. Did he make a pit stop? He must have. Yep, he did. So Heggie relinquishes the race lead to Dave Seats. Again, he's off cycle here. Seats stays on the racetrack. Maybe he's coming pretty soon. Have to see how that pans out. Terry Crouch, though, just in behind the GT leader as they get into the hairpin once again. We'll watch Terry see if he peels off to pit lane. He does not. Sniffs a little bit of slipstream off the Audi, back down the main stretch here. Next in his sights will be the LMP of Kevin Blue. Kevin doing a good job to battle back here and maintain a podium finish. If he can hang tight here for another 13 minutes and change. Kevin Blue goes way wide, trying to let Terry go by. Terry almost got in the back of him. Once again, you see Terry scraping the left side on the barrier before his turn in. It's making that work. Just enough to pull a layer of decal off. Maybe some primer, maybe some paint. But man, with that said, we are late for a break. It's our last HBR TV side-by-side, so stay with us. You won't miss a moment of the action. We'll be right back after this.
I met Marcos Garza when we were doing radiothons for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. We needed sponsors to help us raise money, and he's always the first one to jump in. I would describe Marcos and his team as upstanding, someone you can trust, and he is just a genuine guy.
Marcos has been very generous. He has a genuine concern for people. You need somebody that cares about you. And that's what Marcos is, and that's pretty much what this firm is.
The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Well, you may have seen the change of the race lead through the HBR TV side-by-side break. Flo Doms now back at the point with a 3.5-second advantage over teammate Terry Crouch. Ironically enough, though, Terry's pit stop, 9.27 seconds. Overall pit lane time, 45.97. Remember, Flo Doms was a 47.05, so he was quicker through that exchange. But I think this has really come down to some lap traffic issues as far as what clean racetrack Flo Doms had versus what clean racetrack Terry Crouch had. Might be minimal at best. So it may have slowed down the 59 just enough to give another big advantage to Flo Doms. Terry with just about 8 minutes left in this race to reel in Flo Doms. We'll see if he can do it. It's going to be dicey. You see him there in the background. He's quite a ways back. I don't know if he can do it. If anybody can, it's Terry Crouch, but man, that's a big deficit when you've got a fast guy like Flo out in front. These guys match each other's pace. They've been going back and forth. Who's got the best lap? So far, it's Terry Crouch, but it's about a tenth, maybe just under a tenth and a half quicker than Flo Doms. So a tenth and a half times 6 laps. I don't know if he's going to get there unless there's some major lap traffic issues for Flo Doms to come into the mix. We'll see how it plays out. Continue to watch it. Also, with that said, the pit stop cycled through. Same scenario has become the issue in GT. Josh Heggie has taken over the race lead once again through the cycle of pit stops. Dave Seats 4.7 seconds back. We look at the pit stops there. Same situation. Heggie was slower on the pit stop, slower in the pit lane versus Dave Seats. We're talking maybe a second, if that, overall, but they come out with a big difference. 4.7. Prior to the pit stops, remember, it was like 1.4 between the two of them. So Heggie somewhere finding an ability to get faster on the racetrack. Maybe it's lap traffic. Who knows? We'll talk to him post-race. Don't worry. We'll find out what the key to success was. Just about 6 minutes left. Round number 10, Long Beach, the PFR Sports Car Championship. I want to go back here. It looks like we may have gotten some more details from our spotters around the course. Dave Seats may have had an issue on the racetrack, which could have resulted in this change of position. We'll get a watch on it here and see. Yeah, there it is. There is your deficit change. Lost a bunch of time there. That was just about 4 laps ago, so there you have it. Less than 5 minutes left here, just a few more laps. We'll call it a day here from Long Beach. Deficit to Terry Crouch now 2 seconds. Terry improving his best lap time, goes purple again here, minute 12:91, the best lap. Hard to believe these guys have run 45 laps around this street circuit. Oh, and Flo Doms loses it into turn number 1, and Terry Crouch, a repeat of Monza, gets into him. My, oh my, how things are changing drastically here from Long Beach. Flo gets away. Terry Crouch drives away after contact. He takes the lead. How much damage on the nose of the 59? Oh, man, it doesn't look good. It's a lot like Kevin Blue early on. Kevin Blue's a lap down, but he's just licking his chops here. He might be in position to take this win. Again, Flo Doms and Terry Crouch likely still with a quick repair, but we're 3.5 minutes out from the finish. But these guys just continue to drive these race cars and hope to God they make it to the finish, or cross their fingers, hope they don't have a meatball on them right now. Meatball being the black flag with the orange circle in the middle, forcing them to pit lane for repairs. We'll see if Terry stays out on the racetrack or comes down pit lane. Stays out on the racetrack. Flo Doms, what's his scenario here? He comes to pit lane. So if Terry can make it, that's crazy. You look at Flo Doms, the damage doesn't look terrible by comparison. Yes, he's got some left side damage for sure. But Terry Crouch, again, like we said about Kevin Blue early on, looking like a modified out there. The complexion of this race has changed considerably in the last 60 seconds. With just 2.5 minutes to go, Terry Crouch, now your new race leader. Flo Doms in pit lane. He's used the fast repair. He's going to get back out there and be up to pace, but there's just 2 minutes left in this race unless Terry Crouch comes to pit lane. This one is going to be interesting. It's been a fun one to watch, but man, it just got way more entertaining. Crouch stays on the main straightaway here. Does not come to pit lane. Again, hard to say if he's got the meatball or not, and he's just disregarding it. We'll see how this plays out. I don't think you can take the race win with the meatball. I could be wrong. Haven't run into this just yet. Meanwhile, Kevin Blue has gotten his lap back, so if something happens with Terry Crouch, he's in a great position to win this race. And to think Kevin Blue, he was considering not even running tonight. "59 minutes, 60 seconds to go." Terry Crouch down the backstretch. Based on the time left here, I'm assuming this will be the white flag. Unfortunately, we always have to assume that because for whatever reason, we're not getting that data anymore. Terry out of the hairpin, and there it is. Barney waving that white for all he's worth. One more lap to go. Flo Doms maintains the second position, though. He was able to get the quick repair. Now, if this stands, Terry Crouch looking at another EOL next week at Road America. I'm sure he'll take the victory, though. I think this, and I could be wrong, I could be corrected here too, but I think this could be the first worst to first victory for Terry Crouch this season. Going around Brian's in here. Remember, last lap for Terry Crouch was 1:15:16. Significantly off the pace of his fastest lap of the day. 1:12:19. I think Flo Doms is trying to surpass that now with his quick repair, but there it is. Checkered flag in the air. Terry Crouch wins it. Locks him up at the finish. Just stops. I don't know if he's frustrated or what the situation may be, but either way, he takes the victory. Josh Heggie with 4 seconds on Dave Seats as he works his way around on his final lap of the race. Heggie out of the hairpin. And checkered flag waves. Heggie takes the win in GT. Dave Seats will be third, and then Brian's in when he gets back around. So with that, we're going to jump out here, get our final official break out of the way. We'll be back with our race winners after this. Stay with us.
I met Marco Scarza when we were doing radiothons for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. We needed sponsors to help us raise money, and he's always the first one to jump in. I would describe Marcos and his team as upstanding, someone you can trust, and he is just a genuine guy.
Marcos has been very generous. He has a genuine concern for people. You need somebody that cares about you. And that's what Marcos is, and that's pretty much what this firm is.
The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Back at Long Beach for round number 10 of the PFR Sports Car Championship. Terry Crouch from the back to the front. Also some extenuating circumstances there late in this race. Let's get a word with our race winner, Terry Crouch, and get his stance on how things went down tonight. Terry, it's Steve in the HBR TV booth. You got a good copy?
I do. How you doing, Steve?
We're doing good, Terry. Congratulations on the race win, the EOL to the win. We saw a lot of things happening there late in this race. You caught Flo. Looked like you were about to take the lead. He opted for pit lane, and you stayed out for a handful of laps after the fact. You had a faster pit lane time, a faster pit stop, but he still managed to come out ahead of you after the cycle, about 4 seconds up. You started to reel him in again, and then, well, we had problems just like we had at Monza. He had a problem in turn number 1. You got into him, had some damage on that machine, but you still took it home to the victory, man. Walk us through what happened in those closing 20 minutes.
Oh, man. When I saw him go in, I had to recalculate. I was like, what am I not catching here? Because I didn't know if there's traffic in front of us. This Flo's so good at figuring out, the right way to do this. And I saw the cars kind of spaced out, and I just figured, you know what, I'm going to send it down because I know it gets lighter at the end. I'll go faster, see how that goes, turn faster laps near the end. And it worked. Still got caught with some traffic. We got some really fast laps near the end there. And I came out 2.5 seconds ahead of him. And I four-wheel slid that sucker coming out of the pit lane, barely kept it off the wall. So I just overreached trying to get out of there. And after that, it was, it feels so bad that Flo had that mistake because I know he was trying so hard, and he does so well in these things, but every once in a while you have those, those things you just get heated and stuff happens, and it sucks to take a big advantage like this, but it was an amazing race until that point.
Well, with that said, Flo at least will be lucky enough to go to Road America next week without the EOL. You, unfortunately, will have to go to the back. And I almost got to wonder if we're going to have more prototypes at Road America than we did here tonight. Maybe scared some guys off. Who knows? But maybe we'll see if you can do it again next week.
Oh, I'd almost guarantee we'll have more at Road America than here. I was, if I'm going to have an EOL, 6 cars is pretty good to have. And I've never actually tried wreckers and checkers, but that was kind of fun.
Well, that was the other question I was going to ask. I mean, it seems that either Flo had too much damage to continue or a meatball, one or the other. He had to come to pit lane immediately, which I find ironic because visually your car was hammered after that incident. Did you have a meatball or were you able to make it through?
No meatball. Steering was bent about 25 degrees. I think it was to the left. It was recalibrating everything I could do. Every left corner was hairy, but as long as I didn't have a meatball, I'll get that sucker 4 laps.
Terry Crouch with the race win here tonight. Who do you want to thank before we let you go?
Oh, wife and daughter is always there. TLDR, my boys, Dave and Flo in the race. I know Kevin hasn't been here, but I hope he is. You for the new stream stuff. That was pretty cool. Kevin Blue, sponsored GSI. That's about it. I'm done talking.
All right, Terry. Thanks for talking to us, man. Good luck next week at Road America.
My brother.
It's Terry Crouch, your race winner here at Long Beach. It was a surprise, but man, it was well earned. He had to start at the back, work his way through the field, and then it was just a little bit of extra luck, at least on his part, some bad luck on Flo's. And really the bad luck was that Flo had the meatball and Terry didn't. Managed to bring that thing home, damage and all. With that, though, let's talk to Josh Heggie. We'll pull him up into the broadcast booth and get a word with our winner in GT3. Josh, it's Steve with HBR TV. Are you with us? Josh Heggie, it's Steve with HBR TV. You got us live?
What's up?
Hey, Josh. Congratulations on the race win here at Long Beach. I got to ask you about the scenario with you and Dave Seats. I know he had an issue after his pit stop, locking him up. Really gave up a ton of track position, but it was a great battle really watching you guys. You'd get out ahead a couple of seconds, he'd reel you back in, and then you'd get back out ahead for a while. It was a good battle to watch you guys. We kind of expected that here tonight. Was that kind of what you looked forward to this evening?
Yeah, I think I must time my pit stops pretty well because I don't feel like I had to deal with. It's hard to pass 2 classes on that track. I didn't practice all week, and I wondered if he got tires too. So that was my main concern. I didn't know if I just kind of was winging it this week. It was a surprise win for me.
Yeah, well, the final stop of the race for both you guys, you were about 11.3 seconds. Dave was 10.6, so he was faster overall on the cycle, but did spin the car out. Minor contact with the barrier definitely cost him a handful of seconds, but you inherit the win. It was very similar to what we saw with the battle in LMP2, but you take the checkered flag here. You carry some of that momentum into Road America next week. How do you run out there at Road America?
I do all right, I guess. I'm pretty average.
Well, either way, congratulations on the race win here tonight. Who do you want to thank before we let you go?
You guys, HBR, PFR, I'd like to say what's up to my mom and my grandma. That's about it.
Fair enough, man. Again, congratulations and good luck next week.
Yep, later.
It's Josh Heggie, your race winner in GT. Sounds like he's ready for a nap. Pretty comfortable behind the wheel of that thing, but hey, if it works out, he got the win here tonight. That's all you can ask for. So with that, let's take a look at our race results. Hopefully they work properly tonight. Looks like they are. Terry Crouch, of course, your winner in LMP2. Flo Doms was second. Kevin Blue sticking with it after the lap 2 crash, only by 1 second. You gotta wonder, he might have been in contention for a win tonight. I just don't know. He made a pit stop at lap 2 for the fast repair and nothing else, so he had to make an extra pit stop compared to the rest of these guys. Still finishes P3. Sean Roberts was 4th. Brandon Domain finishes in the 5th position, and 6th went to James Coulibaly. Again, that was your 6 drivers in LMP2, so we'll take a look at the finishing order for GT3. That's not it. Let's go back to LMP2 because it just gave you practice results. Still, Terry Crouch, Flo Doms, Kevin Blue, Brandon Domain, James Coulibaly, Sean Roberts in that order. Now we jump over to GT. And it was Josh Heggie taking the race win. Dave Seats was 2nd. Then it was Brian Zinn, Daniel Klar, Rob Henry, Nick Matthews. 7th, Mike Hamlin. Drew Prowl was 8th. Nick Batista finished in the 9th position. 10th went to Joe Tucker. 11th place finisher, Mike Piazza. With Time Slice Motorsports, he was 19 laps down. But that wraps up our race results here from Long Beach. I gotta say, I'm really impressed with how this one went down. We had some issues as far as incidents on the track were concerned, but nothing significant, nothing nuts, nothing, oh my gosh, we got a wreck on lap 1 and half the field's gone. We didn't have that this year, so bravo, round of applause to the admins here with the PFR Sports Car Championship. Also, round of applause for all the drivers involved, making that first lap a clean one and getting this thing going. Of course, Terry Crouch said, quality results, you noob. Yeah, I know, I'm trying. Happens for some reason only in this side of things because I've got to cycle through LMP and GT3 and fix all the good stuff. But I got it right eventually. That's all you can ask for, right? With that said, thank you guys all for tuning in. Make sure you're here next week for Road America. Certainly one of my favorite places, and it'll be followed by, well, my absolute favorite place, Watkins Glen International, to close out the season. Just left there yesterday morning from the Cup race. Going to go back there in a few weeks for the Vintage Weekend and the SCCA Trans Am Series as well. I'm really looking forward to all of that, of course. Looking forward to the balance of this season. It's been a fun one so far. If you guys haven't already done so, check us out on the website, hbrtv1.com. Also, youtube.com/@HBRTV and the number 1. Give us a like, follow, share, subscribe. Please, if you're watching these streams and you haven't already liked the broadcast, please do. Those likes are really what make the biggest difference as far as YouTube's algorithm and all that fun stuff. So help us out. If you're watching, it's just one click away. It doesn't cost you a nickel. Just go ahead and do it. So with that, thanks for watching, guys. I'm Steve Singer with HBR TV, congratulating Terry Crouch and Josh Heggie on their race wins here at Long Beach. We'll see you next week. Road America. Have a good night.